never really understood what a miracle was until now. I used to think miracles are something extraordinary, almost impossible. But then I got pregnant. Then I realized I was a living one. And as I marveled at the life growing inside me, I couldn't help but wonder, in a world that's moving so fast, have we forgotten the true meaning of birth? Like watching a flower bloom in real time, except you're the soil, the sunlight, and the rain, and you are their entire universe. So before this, I thought birth was just a start of a new life, but now I see it differently. Birth isn't just about creating a baby. It's about creating existence. It's a bridge between the unknown and the known. One moment, the little soul exists only in potential, and the next, they're here, breathing, seeing, existing. It made me wonder, how many lives have started like this? How many generations have passed down this same miracle over and over again? And yet, each life is unique. Each birth, a new story waiting to be told. And then something else started to cross my mind. If birth is such a miracle, why does it sometimes feel like the world sees it as a burden? I started reading about how birth rates are dropping, how some countries are panicking over population decline, and governments are launching policies to encourage more births, but something feels off. We talk about birth in numbers, in economic terms, in statistics, but rarely do we talk about the meaning of birth. We pour billions into researching artificial wombs and try to solve the problem of childbirth. But is birth really a problem to solve? Or have we lost sight of something deeper? Confucius once said, "A ruler must lead with virtue, for if he sets the right example, people will naturally follow." His philosophy was simple. Society should build around the well-being of its people, not just power or wealth. He believed that if a leader governs with kindness, morality, and a genuine concern for his people, the nation will flourish not just economically, but in spirit. But when I look around today, I wonder, have we forgotten this wisdom? If we fail to put people first, what is the point of rapid economic growth? If progress comes at a cost of making life harder for families, harder for future generations, then is this really a progress? Maybe instead of asking how can we increase birth rates, we should be asking how can we make the world a place where people feel safe and supported enough to create life. Maybe true progress isn't measured in GDP or technology, but in how well we nurture life itself. Maybe instead of focusing on how to fix birth rates, we should focus on why people hesitate to bring life into the world. Maybe instead of developing artificial wombs, we should be asking how can we better support the incredible ability to create life? How can we make the world a place where people want to bring new life into it, not because they're told to, but because they feel safe, supported, and inspired to? The true meaning of birth is more than just the beginning of life. It's the foundation of existence, a bridge between the past and the future, and a reflection on how we, as individuals and as a society, value life itself. For a parent, birth is a profound transformation. It is the moment when love becomes tangible, when responsibilities and purpose take on new meaning. It is a reminder that life is not just about oneself, but about connection, about nurturing, protecting, and guiding another human being into existence. For the child, birth is the first step into an unknown world full of infinite possibilities. It is the moment when one begins the journey of experiencing, growing, and creating their own story. To society, birth is the heartbeat of civilization. It is the renewal of culture, tradition, and knowledge. Every child born carries the potential to shape the world, to contribute to progress, to love, to create, and to inspire. A society that values birth is one that invests in its future, supporting families, ensuring the well-being of children, and fostering an environment where life can thrive. But when birth is seen as a burden rather than a blessing, it reflects a society that prioritizes short-term efficiency over long-term survival. A world that does not embrace birth as fundamental to its existence is a world that is slowly forgetting its own purpose. On a global scale, birth is a continuation of the human story. It is the reason civilizations rise and evolve, why culture flourish, and why humanity continues to push the boundaries of knowledge and creativity. Every birth, it's a new beginning, a new perspective, a new force capable of shaping history. Without birth, there is no future, no new minds to solve problems, no new hearts to love, no new hands to build. The ultimate meaning of birth is more than just a biological event. It is a miracle that keeps repeating itself, reminding us of the beauty of existence. It teaches us that life is not just about what we achieve, but about what we pass on. It reminds us that every human being, no matter how small or vulnerable at the beginning, has intrinsic worth. Birth is proof that life is meant to continue, to expand, and to be cherished. If we lose sight of the meaning of birth, we risk losing sight of what it means to be human. If we fail to truly understand and recognize the meaning of birth, we risk drifting further into a world that feels increasingly hollow, one where progress is measured only by numbers, where economic growth takes priority over human being, and where life itself is treated as a mere statistic rather than something sacred. A society that loses sight of birth, meaning becomes one that prioritizes efficiency over existence, productivity over people, and the conflict between birth rate and economic growth will never be resolved, because we'll keep seeing birth as a problem rather than the foundation of our future. Government will continue to introduce policies that focus on incentives, financial aid, or artificial alternatives to childbirth, but without addressing the core issue, the lack of a societal mindset that truly values life. Over time, the disconnect will only deepen. If birth is seen as an inconvenience, if raising a child is treated as burden rather than a shared societal responsibility, then fewer people will choose to bring life into the world. Paradox is that while economies rely on new generations to sustain growth, modern economic structures make parenthood increasingly difficult. This contradiction, left unresolved, will accelerate demographic decline, aging populations, in a world that, despite its technology advancement, feels emptier and more fragmented. And perhaps in a world where birth loses its meaning, we'll find ourselves trapped in an illusion of progress, one where we chase endless development, yet feel an overgrowing void inside. Because without new life, without the continuation of humanity's story, what are we really building toward? Thank you everyone, that's everything I like to share today about some of my thoughts regarding pregnancies. If you like this video, make sure you give a thumbs up. Until next time, stay empowered and strong. I'll see you in my next videos. Bye.